All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2018 Chevy Colorado ZR2 Diesel. Up front is a 2.8 liter turbocharged diesel inline 4. Down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Colorado for a couple of reasons. Mainly the fact that it is the diesel, it's the ZR2 package at that, and so we have a bunch of goodies to talk about. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack I have available, or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2.8 liter Duramax diesel under the hood. Well, it's actually not technically a Duramax. It was actually designed by a Thai company and has been in the US for longer than you'd think. Yes, they started offering it in the Colorado in 2016, but it was actually originally put in the early 2000s Jeep Liberty diesel. Which, yes, Jeep Liberty diesels exist, A, but B, it had this exact same engine. Horsepower's in the upper hundreds, 180, nothing too crazy. Now, this truck has been modified. It is making more horsepower than that, but we won't touch on that too much. A couple of big advantages of the diesel are this. First of all, fuel economy. This truck averages 26.6 miles to the gallon, which is pretty much city driving. That's the same that my compact Mazda gets. And the owner's best is 34 miles to the gallon. In a big pickup truck, that's not bad at all, given the fact that it's not even a hybrid. The other reason is towing. Now, the ZR2s will only tow 5,000 pounds, but that's because in order to get the better approach angles for off-roading up at the front, they had to make the grills smaller, and thus you get less cooling. And this suspension is a lot softer. It's made for off-roading and going over serious bumps rather than towing. So this is my friend Adam's diesel Colorado, and that will actually pull 7,500 because it can cool itself better and has the suspension set up for it. So something to keep in mind, but the Duramax pulls trailers with absolute ease. It doesn't sweat, it doesn't fret, it doesn't even think twice. That's the lovely part of this truck, and we'll talk more about that in my final thoughts segment. Like I said, paired to its 6-speed automatic, the only way that these came with the diesels. However, the gas version's got the 8-speed as an option, and you don't want the 8-speed. The 8-speed hunts for gears way too much, burns its clutches out very quickly because it's always shifting, and overall, in the truck community, the 8-speed is not great. But this is the 6-speed, tried and true, and it is fantastic. Last but not least, of course, this is 4-wheel drive. We'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges and a screen. On the left is my tachometer. In the center, I get my fuel and coolant temperature. And on the right, I get my speedometer. I also get this gauge down in the center. I really love this gauge from GM. They put this in a lot of their vehicles. And what I love about it is how colorful it is. It makes me feel like it's a nicer screen than it might be just because it shows a lot of colors. Like Kia products only show you one color. It's black and white. That's it. Well, this actually makes me feel like it's a legitimate screen and not an afterthought, which I really like. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options, and on the right, I have my voice command and phone options, as well as I have my selectors for that center screen and the gauge cluster we just talked about. And behind the steering wheel, I have skip track and volume. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel is pretty on par with the rest of GM at this time. I think it actually has a nice fit and finish. Off to the left, I have a giant vent, as well as my headlight switches, gauge dimmer switches, and my 4-wheel drive settings. So here's where I could leave it in 2 auto, 4 high, or 4 low, which is nice that I get that customization right here in a knob. On the door, I have lock and unlock up top, power mirrors, and power windows down below. Moving into the center, I have a Bose speaker. So this does get the Bose audio system because it is the ZR2 package, and that's kind of a pretty top tier trim. And then I have the typical GM infotainment. I'm not gonna hanker on this too long. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's a little cheap, but I will say it is very easy to use. I know exactly what I'm doing. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very nice. However, as you'll see now here, the backup camera is not that high a quality. 2018 was the first year that all cars here in the United States are legally required to have backup cameras, and GM just said, just put whatever we're on, and that's what we got. Down below that screen, we do have the radio, media, home, and back buttons, as well as tone and setup. And then we have our climate controls. I do have auto climate, which is nice. However, I don't get dual zone, something I would have liked in a vehicle like this. However, no dual zone climate, not the end of the world. Then we get a ton of buttons down here. First of all, we have traction control off to the left, then locking rear and front differential. I can lock them separately, which is really, really unique. A lot of vehicles just say lock diffs or don't lock diffs. This actually gives you the customization to do as you please, which is fantastic. Then I get my hazard switch and my exhaust brake, as well as hill descent control and my cargo light. Then I get this awkward cubby down below that, and I have my heated seat options, which are fantastic. I don't know if I've ever made that distinction, if only wanting my back heated, but at least I can make that here in the Colorado. Then I get a big cubby, 12-volt outlet, of course, USB, things like that. And then we come to the shifter area. Off to the left is the shifter for that 6-speed automatic. It's all right. My complaint about it is that it is leather on the top, and this being a work truck, this truck gets used for towing boats and lots of other toys. You're in and out, you're shifting all the time. The shift knob actually wore down pretty quickly on the owner, and so he had it replaced. And as you see that little plastic around the outside, he actually uses that to cover the shift knob so it doesn't wear through again. Kind of an interesting issue with the Colorado. But off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And unfortunately, the big friggin' bottle does not fit here in the Colorado. I was really hoping it would. It doesn't, and that's unfortunate to see for a pickup truck. Then I do get a wireless charger and center console, and then we'll talk about the seats. The seats are decently comfortable. They do say ZR2 on them, which is pretty unique, and I really don't have any complaints. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a backseat review. So the owner, Steve, currently has the backseat set up for his dog, so I don't want to disturb that. However, I do get some interesting things back here. I can open that rear window if I would like. I do get a center console with some cup holders, and I've sat in the back of these multiple times. I can tell you they are comfortable, they're fine. The Silverados have more space, but this is plenty of space. This isn't a reason to not buy the Colorado because of back seat space. The Silverado, you do get more, but this isn't bad, which I really, really like. Tons and tons of sweet space back there. But now let's talk about the trunk and cargo space, I guess bed and cargo space coming around the back here. First of all, I love these Colorado accents right here. Love that. And here is the back of the Colorado. We'll come around here. Normal tailgate. I know GM sometimes likes to have fun tailgates with 80 million different configurations, but this is just a standard tailgate. Nothing crazy. I do get some tie downs up there. Pretty standard bed area here. I do get a nice ZR2 logo up at the front, and of course, this nice bed liner. But that's pretty much it. I'll just give you a nice look at the bed. Pretty sweet if I do say so myself. Now we got to talk about the looks, and I absolutely love the way this particular Colorado looks. These are of course aftermarket wheels, but I love the bronze and I love the green color. This green was only offered in 2017 and 2018, where it was then discontinued. So it's a pretty rare color, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic color at that. I really, really enjoy it. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on the 2018 Chevy Colorado ZR2 Diesel. Well, I really, really like it for a multitude of reasons. First of all, let's talk about the ZR2 package. I think it's a lot more handsome of a truck. I like the ZR2 added ride height. I like a lot of features of the ZR2 package. For a fun off-road oriented truck, this is great. But let's also talk about the diesel. That's really the big reason I wanted to review this here Colorado. This truck doesn't really have any natural competitors at the moment. It's smaller than a 1500. This is smaller than a Silverado, so it's not in the class of the Ram, the F-150, or the Silverado/Sierra. Also, the Ranger currently here in the United States doesn't have a diesel version, and you can only get the Ranger with an inline 4, a 2.3 liter turbo, which comes out of the Ford EcoBoost Mustang, which actually got its engine from Mazda, which is essentially a Mazda Speed 3 engine inside of a truck. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sit well with me. I love the Ranger, I really, really do. I think it's a solid get-around truck, but they don't make a diesel. and this truck rocks. I love this truck so much. My good friend Adam has one as well. I've driven his. These are fantastic. These trucks punch up. And what that means, the term of punching up means you are in a lower class, but you're hitting and fighting like you're in an upper class. Like a Mini Cooper totaling a Mack truck in an accident. That's punching up. And the reason I say this truck punches up is because it can tow and do the things of a 1500 series truck, but it's in a smaller package. I like that. I like it a lot. With my friend Adam's truck, we use it to pull the spec Miata all over the country, and it does it with ease. This truck pulls a huge boat every summer with ease. You can't say that about the Ford Ranger, and you can't say that about even a gas F-150 or a gas Silverado or a gas Ram. This truck punches above its weight class. This is the Manny Pacquiao of trucks, and that to me is so cool. Smaller package, but bigger thoughts. I like it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to my good friend Steve for letting me take out his diesel Colorado. I know we've been trying to do this review for a long time, and I'm so glad I was finally able to get behind the wheel. This thing is great. Steve is great, and you could thank him for this video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.